Hey there, guys. May 11th, 1990, Chicago at Cincinnati. Maddux versus Scudder. We're in the top of the second. It's 1-0 Cincinnati. Scored on an RBI double by Benzinger. And starting off this inning, it was Wilkerson with a single, and now it's Sean Dunston. Dunston, not really a good hit and run guy, but a guy who can bunt. Girardi's batting after him. So still early, so we're gonna just roll away. Pitch from Scudder. It's a 41. That should be a base on balls, and it is. Puts runners on first and second. Next is Joe Girardi. The pitch, 62, is going to be a strikeout. The pitcher will square. And he's a 5, and that's going to be a good bunt right back to the mound. Both runners advance. So S and then S. We got second and third now with 2 outs for Jerome Walton. He's the leadoff hitter who singled in the first inning. Scudder's allowed so far 4 singles. Jerome Walton was a 263 hitter. See what happens. Second and third, 2 outs. Pitch, 61. Struck him out. That ends the inning. So no runs, a hit, 2 left. And we move to the bottom of the second. It's going to be Hatcher, Oster, and Oliver. Here's Billy Hatcher, Greg Maddox versus Billy Hatcher with a 52. Now that's going to be an error check, but if it's, let's see who it's to, because Wilkerson has a really high error number. Hold on a second. Okay, so that's a ball to Sandberg, who fields it cleanly, 1 out. Ronnie Oster with a 25, and that'll be bounced to second base again to Ryan Sandberg, 2-way. And Joe Oliver with a 44, and he lines one to center. Single, 2-out single to center. And Scott Scudder, the Scud missile, 42, and that's going to be an out. Fly ball, even though he allows a lot of base runners. He's got a high whip, 1.3, doesn't allow a lot of walks. So that's the way he always was, I guess, even from his early days when he wasn't a stud. Greg Maddux. That ends the inning. Fly ball to center over is Walton, and he grabs it for the out. Top of the third. Ryan Sandberg came to a fielder's choice earlier. 64 will be a fly ball to left. A couple of steps to his right is Hatcher. 1 down. Mark Gray singled earlier in the game, and a 64 will be a ground ball to the first baseman, and he steps on the bag. That's Benzinger. Not a very good first baseman at all. Terrible range rating, and a 55 is going to be a drive. Going to split the outfielders and roll to the wall. So that's going to be a double for Andre Dawson, a 2-out double, and he stands at second base in scoring position. Here's Dwight Smith, 262 with 6 home runs, 27 RBIs, 300 at-bats. Dwight Smith, a lefty, the pitch, snake eyes, and that's tapped right back to the mound. Scudder bobbles it over to first, and that retires the side. No runs, 1 hit. 1 left, bottom of the third. Top of the order, Sabo, Winningham, and Larkin. Using that sort of lineup. Sabo with a 52. That's an error check. The center fielder, and that's going to be an error. It's going to be a 1 base error, E8. Doesn't happen all that often, but it happened here. He has a high error number, Walton, and I wrote that down, and I rolled an 8, so 1 base error. Sabo wasn't running, should have had 2 bases out of it. Here's Winningham. And we are going to just kind of scratch for some runs here. We're going to bunt with a 5, and that's a good bunt. And that's to the third baseman, 5-4. Oh, and so he goes, you know what, I don't want to do that. I just want to put the S because that'll confuse me. It'll seem like 2 guys bunted in that inning. There. Just put the S, tells me to move them to second. So Winningham with a good bunt. And here's Barry Larkin. He grounded to the shortstop. And this is going to be another error check with a 9. It's going to be to the third baseman. Third baseman has a huge error number. It's going to be a 2-base error. Run will score. So ground ball to Wilkerson, who throws over Mark Grace's head. It's going to be E5 for Larkin, and he stands at second base with 1 out. So it's 2-0. Here's Todd Benzinger with a 42, and that'll be an out, a fly ball center field, 2-away. And next is Paul O'Neill with a 63, and now he cracks one to left center field. Over his left fielder, Dwight Smith makes the catch, and that retires his side. But they pick up one on really 2 errors, one by the center fielder and another one by Wilkerson, the third baseman. So 1 run on no hits. And it's 2-0 as we go to the top of the 4th. Kurt Wilkerson leads off against Scudder, and that'll be a bouncer up the middle and through for a base hit. It's one of those seeing eye hits, those 35, 34 numbers. Here's Sean Dunston. And that is a little check swing blooper that dunks in for a hit. And runner will stop at second. Had to wait to see if it was going to fall in or was going to be caught. And Joe Girardi now is up. Pitch from Scudder, first and second, 45. And that'll be a fly ball, center field. Racing in is Winningham. And again, Maddox is going to square away. It's going to bunt, and that is that's a good bunt to the first baseman. So both runners move up. Deja vu all over again. And that's going to bring up the top of the order, Walton. So Walton struck out last time when there was runners on second and third. He's up again with another opportunity. Here's a pitch. And a 15. That's going to be bounced to the shortstop. Larkin, easy play. Over to first, and that retires the side. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. Bottom of the 4th coming up. This is fall classic baseball. You've got to try out this game. You can try out the PDF. You can try it out for free. It's got 100 seasons. So if there's a season you can't find in another set, hey, try this game out. Plays great, plays easy, plays fast, plays very realistic. As you can see, I'm doing a lot of work behind this game to show you guys that it's a very, very realistic game, very realistic results, and has a great flow. It plays super easy, plays like a basic, but it has advanced features. And you learn a lot about the players with this game as well. Learn a lot about their assists and about their error ability and about their stolen base ability, about their, there's a lot of different things you learn about players. All right, their arm strength. Billy Hatcher's up against Greg Maddux here in the bottom of the 4th, 2-0. Reds with a 34, and that'll be banged up the middle, and that gets through the infield. So Billy Hatcher, he's on at first. Oster's going to bunt, and it's a good bunt. It's a sack, and it's 1-4. And next is Joe Oliver. There's a pitch, and a 31 will be a hard hit ball and through the left side. See if the run scores on this. I don't know if he will. If he is F, I don't know that Hatcher. I think Hatcher is an A, yeah. So he will hold 2 outs. He will have to hold here. So it's going to be first and third for the pitcher. We'll let Scudder bat. For Maddox infield is, we're going to say they're in. 51 with an 18. And that's going to be too high for an error, and that is infield in on this is kind of tricky. But I do have the book here. Let's see, 51 infield in. I believe he scores on this because it is hit up the middle. 51 infield in. What was it? First and third. First and third. Hit the second shortstop. Otherwise choice. Let's see. One out. First and third. Okay, so he is out at the plate. It's going to be a 4-2. And to be runners on first and second. So a ground ball that's hit at the second baseman, Sandberg, and Sandberg whips it home, and the tag put on Hatcher by Girardi. There's 2 away, and here's Chris Sabo with a chance to drive in a run. Runners on first and second. Here's a pitch, and that's a 26 against a lefty. It's a single. Otherwise, it's a drive in the gap. On the run is Walton, and Walton runs it down. No runs on 2 hits. We move to the top of the 5th inning. So the Reds lost an opportunity there. Here's Ryan Sandberg leading it off against Scudder. 41, that's ball 4. So he walks on to first. Mark Grace is next, and he's a good hit and run guy, and we're going to try it. There he goes, and it's a 7 with a 34. And it'll be a drive in the gap, and after it is Winningham, and Winningham tracks it down, so it's F8. Andre Dawson, big power hitter, with a 45. And a 7 is a fly to deep left. Backing up on the warning track is Hatcher, and Hatcher hauls it in. 2 away. Dwight Smith, lefty batter, with a 15, and that'll be a shallow fly ball center field. Again, Winningham makes the catch. No runs, no hits, a walk, 1 left. Bottom of the 5th, 2-0 Reds. Winningham, Herm. Pitch from Maddox, 32, and that's a check swing blooper down the line, and that drops in. Winningham's trying for second. Here's a throw to second. He is safe with a double. Barry Larkin's next. Pitch to Barry with a 32. A back-to-back. That's a drive into the corner. It's off the wall, and around the score is Winningham and Larkin in with an RBI double. Back-to-back doubles off of Maddox, 3-0. Gonna walk, intentionally walk, set up a double play, and here's O'Neill. Benzinger walks, and it's a 61. That's a strikeout. So 1 away with 2 on. Billy Hatcher next. Here's a pitch to Billy with a 51 and a 5. And a 51 is the pitcher. Pitcher error. He does not make errors. So that's going to be a 1-6-3 double play. They turn it. So 1 run on 2 hits. And it's 3-0 in the going into the top of the 6th. All right, so Hatcher into that double play, a ball that was hit right back to Maddox, but Maddox reacted quickly and whipped it to second and back to first. Here is Sean Dunston. I'm sorry, no, it's going to be Wilkerson, then Dunston. It was Smith who flied out. Okay, here's a pitch, and that's a 12, and a line drive, and caught. He's batting lefty, so caught by the first baseman. So rips it, hits it right on the screws, but right there is Benzinger. Next is Dunston now with a 1-4 and a 19, and that's a drive down the line. And O'Neill running into the corner and makes a nice running catch, 2 away. And here's Joe Girardi with a 44. That's ripped base hit to left center field, played on a hop by the left fielder Hatcher. Oster gets the ball in, and let's see. It's going to be the pitcher, and 6th inning, 3-0. We're going to bring in a pinch hitter here. You know what? Let me see. What can he go? 27? He's almost at 27. So we're going to go to grab a pinch hitter quickly here. And let's see who we grab. A guy named Domingo Ramos. But Scudder's a righty, so we're looking for a lefty. We can do Clark. We can do it's going to be Marvell Wynn coming in with 2 out and 1 on here in the 6th. So Maddox is out. Pinch hitter 6. Here's a pitch. Scudder 34, and that's a base hit. And runner on first will see what he will do. He will, with 2 out left field, his arm is an A, so he will go to third because there's 2 outs. And the outfielder's arm is an average arm. So Marvell Wynn comes in and gets a pinch hit single. So now we got a little trouble here brewing in Cincinnati. Cubs are threatening a little bit here. They got the tying run to the plate in Jerome Walton. Now, we don't want to pull Scudder if we don't have to. Scudder is allowed 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hits. And he's a righty. Did we have a day off between the Pittsburgh series and now the Cubs series? I don't know that we did. May 10th, no, we did not. But in that game, I didn't bring Dibble in. I'd like to go to Dibble, but I did pitch 1 inning on the 9th, and this is the 11th. So we're going to go to Dibble here to get us out of trouble. The Nasty Boys, one of the representatives of the Nasty Boys. He is a righty, though. So let's see, and he will have a B. So Scudder is out. And I put these little papers there just to help me easily find the column, correct? So I don't have to think or make mistakes. So it's very clear that he's a B. And here's Jerome Walton, righty versus righty. Here's pitch, and that is a 14. It will be a fly ball to right. Backing up a couple of steps is O'Neill under it, and that retires the side, so no runs. 2 hits, 2 left, and that Scudder went 5.2. So that was huge for the Reds, and Dibble came through with a big pitch here in the top of the 6th inning. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Randy Kramer is a new pitcher. And it's Ron Osterdahl in the pitch. And that is a 12, which will be a fly ball. Cracks one to center. Walton, he's there, 1 away. Next is Joe Oliver, who's 2 for 2, and he will be, this is ball 4, so he will remain 2 for 2. He's on at first, and pitcher Dibble will bunt, and he strikes out, bunts it foul. So Dibble is a 1, so yeah, he will bunt it foul. I just know by memory, that's why I didn't have to look at it. All right, so 2 out, and here's Chris Sabo. Kramer checks the side with Girardi on the pitch, and a 62 struck him out, and that retires the side. So no runs, no hits, a walk, 1 left. Go to the top of the 7th. 7th inning stretch. Take a little break. Ryan Sandberg, 56, and that's a strikeout. Big strikeout for Dibble of a big player. Here is Mark Grace, now lefty batter with a 42, and that'll be ball 4. So Grace walks. Score still 3-0. That puts the tying run on deck. Andre Dawson's up next. He hit 27 home runs. So Dibble better proceed with caution. Here's the pitch at 31, and that's bounced up the middle for a base hit. Will runner hold or will he advance? W, nope, he will hold at second base. First and second now. Next up is Dwight Smith, the lefty. Pitch and a 44. That's going to be lined for a base hit. See if the run will score on this. Scores if yes, he does. Winningham is his arm is, I never wrote it down, but it's a W6W4. 6W4. Error rating in center field is a 0. So that's a base hit, and the other runner will hold. So it's 3-1 now. RBI single for Dwight Smith. 1 out, first and second. Pitch to Kurt Wilkerson, and that is a 23. Struck him out. 2 big Ks in this inning. Wilkerson down on strikes. First and second, 2 outs. Here's Sean Dunston. He bats from the right side. The pitch from Dibble, and a 14. Will pop him up. Shallow center field. Back goes Oster and Larkin, and it's the center fielder Winningham who comes in to make the catch. So 1 run on 2 hits, and that's Dibble's day. 1.1 with 2 hits and a run, a walk and 2 strikeouts. All right. Whew. So could have been worse in that inning for the Reds. 3-1. Reds are up here in the bottom of the 7th. I think I'm going to play through it. Kramer's still in there. Randy Kramer. Winningham with a 22, and that'll be a tapper right back to the mound. Played by Kramer. And that is out number 1. Ooh, I know what I did there. I put some Reds in here by accident. Oliver, Scudder, Sabo. There you go. All right, let's get those guys back. Put them towards the end of this one. There we go. Fixed it. All right. And it's Barry Larkin with 1 out. It's from Kramer, 44. That's line, base hit. So second hit for Larkin today. He's 2 for 4. Here's Todd Benzinger. Pitch from Kramer, and that's a 25, which will be a ground ball to the shortstop. And unless the shortstop's a W, it'll be, oh, but he is a W, so that's going to be a 6-4. Fielder's choice, no double play there. 2 out, 1 on, Paul O'Neill. 33, and that's a base hit. Runner on first will. 2 out, A arm to the right fielder, Andre Dawson. I didn't look and see what kind of arm he had. Let's quickly do that, write that down. Andre Dawson in right field is a 4.845. 4 is the range, A4 is the assist, and then 5 is the error. So he has an A arm, and it says base hit to right with 2 outs, which are A arm allows him to go to third. So he will take third on the single and the A arm. And here's Billy Hatcher. All right, so you know what? We're going to go to the bullpen here, and we're going to grab, who are we going to grab? Dave Wilson, we can grab Nunez, so many guys we can grab here. All right, let's grab Nunez. Nunez is in. His stuff will be a C stuff. comes in there. 7th. He will have his C stuff. Here's the pitch to Billy Hatcher. 45, and that'll be a wild pitch, and then a base on balls. So a run scores on a wild pitch, and then first and second. Here's Oster. So the score now is 4-1. Ronnie Oster with a 51 and a 15, and that'll be a second baseman will make the play to end the inning, 4-3. So 1 run on 2 hits, and we're at the top of the 8th. Newman's just got the bad column, so I can pull him faster. I will pull him faster. All right, Joe Girardi coming up. Oh, Dibble, we need a new pitcher because Dibble already did what he could, and we're going to bring in Mailer. Rick Mailer, do a little help here. So we're not using the nasty boys all the time. He had quite a few. He had about 20 relief appearances. He's from San Antonio. See what kind of stuff he has. Ooh, another C guy. Another C guy, so that's trouble. That's trouble for sure. And you know what? Just gonna grab those 2. So we may pull Mailer right away. Depends on what happens here. Joe Girardi leads us off, and we'll have a pinch hitter. All right, and that is an 11. It's going to be 14, which is an out ground ball, second base, 1 away. Pinch hitter. He is a righty, so we're going to look for lefties. I can bring in McClendon. I can track him. Now he's a righty. Wynn is a lefty. I have a guy named Clark. What is Clark? Get most of the players. You get all the players because he sends you a PDF of everybody, but try to avoid. So we're going to, you know what? We're going to just Domingo Ramos, Salazar. We're going to go with, DeCenzo is a switch hitter. So we're going to go with DeCenzo. So DeCenzo will pinch hit. And that is the top of the 8th. See what happens. Here's Rick Mailer. And that's a 62, and that's a fly ball to left field. Right there's Hatcher, 2 away. So DeCenzo, the pinch hitter, flies out. And now it's Walton with 2 outs. And that's a 42. That'll be ball 4. So it's a 2-out walk. And here comes Ryan Sandberg. Yikes. Yeah, so the situation is the following. I'm down 4-1. I got Mailer in there who just pitched. He's pitched 2 outs and he got a runner on first, and it's Ryan Sandberg. So the situation is that if I bring in, my guys, the nasty boys, then I'm going to lose somebody for tomorrow's game, which I may be winning 2-1 or 5-4. Late in the game. So I'm going to opt to go with Rick Mailer against Ryan Sandberg. I mean, really, Dibble's already been used. I've got Carlton, who wasn't, Carlton was used. Okay, so Carlton wasn't used on the 10th. Which is yesterday, but he was used Carlton was used the day before that for almost 2 innings. Yeah, so on the 9th, we're on the 11th. So that's 1 day of rest for Carlton. I want to give him 2 days of rest. So I can use guys I don't use very much, like Liana and Britzes. Let me see. Liana was used yesterday. And Liana was used the day before yesterday. So Liana's out. I got Britzes I can bring in. All right, but Britzes is a lefty, and I'd rather bring him in to face Mark Grace. So let's see if Rick Mailer can get by Ryan Sandberg, and that would be amazing because that would end the inning, and that would give me one less headache to worry about. Let's do it. And 13 he's gonna do it. He's gonna induce a ground out to second base, picked up by Duncan over to Benzinger, and that retires the side. So Rick Mailer comes up huge and saves me a lot of headaches trying to figure out who to go to. So thank you, Rick Mailer. Yes, he's actually, I think he's from Dallas or Austin, but he studied at St. Mary's, I believe, with his brother. And that brings us to the bottom of the 8th. 4-1. We're trailing 4-1 here. The Reds are trailing 4-1, and Nunez came in when 1/3 of an inning. And let's see who we can go with here in the bottom of the 8th. We got Steve Wilson, excuse me. Joe Kramer. No, not Joe Kramer. We already used it. The Mitch Williams. He's like, I think, one of the closers. Bill Long is another guy that we use a lot. So, and we have Jeff Pico is another guy we use a lot in relief. They all suck. So the staff is terrible. So I'm just gonna go with Nunez. Balicki and Harkey are the 2 starters for the next 2 days. All right, so I got everybody available in the bullpen. It's Joe Oliver versus Jose Nunez. Bottom of the 8th, the Reds are trailing 4-1. And here's the pitch. 43, and that is ball 4. So Nunez walks Oliver. And it's time for a pinch hitter. Pinch hitter time for Scott Scudder. Oh, so second baseman wasn't, it was Oster, it was not Duncan. So I have a righty. So let me look and see what lefties I have. Jeff Reed, I got Quinones and Griffey. Quinones and Griffey. Griffey only had 63 bats and he's been playing, so. All right, so Quinones is gonna come in and hit. Then I will need a new pitcher, and it'll be Britzes. And Britzes will be an A. That'll help us out. Okay, here's Quinones versus Nunez. With a runner on first at 24, that's a hit by pitch number. And he is -4 with a 4, that's a 0. So that'll be a fly ball center field. And that is Walton. Makes the catch, 1 down. Sable's up next. Tying run is on deck, by the way. 4-1. Oliver's on at first. There's the pitch to Sable. He's got good power. And that is ball 4. So 2 walks allowed by Jose Nunez. And we are going to the bullpen here. We're going to go for Bill Long. See what kind of stuff Bill Long will have. He's a righty. Want him to face Billingham, and he will be a B. So Bill Long will be a B, facing so there's a lot of decisions to make managing a team over the course of the season. Definitely don't want to overuse guys, because then later you're stuck trying to underuse them to make up for it, to to use them realistically, right? So that's a like long pitched in 42 games. So that's basically 1 out of every 4 games. So if you use them 4 games in a row, now you got to rest them 16 days to kind of make up for that. So you don't want to do that. You want to just try to avoid that as much as possible and start really, you want to coach the teams realistically, so that you can have some sort of realistic experience playing the game. All right, so it's first and second. Bill Long comes in. He will be a B against Herb Winningham. And here's the pitch. All depends on the dice. Dice have a power of their own, and it's going to be a 16. That's a strikeout. Curveball gets him. And that brings up Barry Larkin, who's 2 for 4 today. He's got a double and a single, driven in a run, reached on an error. So he's been on 3 out of 4 times. And he's in a big easy time run right here. So a home run from Barry Larkin, who didn't hit very many. He hit only 7 home runs. So don't expect, although Bill Long gives up a lot of home runs. And it would be nice if we went in there and looked for somebody who doesn't give up that many home runs. Mitch Williams doesn't give up very many home runs at all, but he's a lefty. Pico doesn't give up, Pico doesn't give up any home runs. Steve Wilson gives up a ton of home runs. Oschenmacher is another guy that we can bring in. He gives up a lot of home runs as well. He's pretty good though, but he's another lefty. All right, so unfortunately we got Bill Long, who gives up the long ball, and we got Barry Larkin up with 2 on. The Reds trail 4-1. Fall Classic Baseball. Let's see what happens. And that's going to be a 52. That's an error possibility, but a 16 is very, very high. Third baseman. Third baseman is an 8A16. He's terrible, and he's going to boot it. Luckily, this gets hit to the third baseman, so Barry Larkin pulls the ground ball to Wilkerson, knowing that Wilkerson has a very high error rating, and it happens to be a 52, which is error third base, but it's only a 1-base error, and that's going to load the bases. So that's the second error committed by Wilkerson. So if you look his stats up, you definitely see that he was at the top of the infielders at third base, playing third base, who committed errors that season, 1990. So Wilkerson is terrible for an infielder. I mean, if you compare with my Sabo I think is a 4, so he commits very few errors. So that's going to load the bases. Here's Todd Benzinger. We're going to go to somebody who does. We're going to go to Paul Osenmacher because we got O'Neill next. See what we got for Osenmacher, and we will have a 6. Which will be an A. Osenmacher. All right. So 0.1 for Long, and it was 0.2 for Nunez, and it was Kramer came in and went 1.2 as well. And then it was 5 for Scudder. So Scudder pitched 5. Okay, so here's Osenmacher with an A pitcher. He's got his A stuff. That is a big advantage to get Todd Benzinger out. So it's up to Benzinger and the dice to tie this game up. The tying run is at first base, and Barry Larkin with good speed. Here's a pitch. And a 33, which is what the doctor ordered. But no, the D20 tells us, oh man, the 33 goes to 114. He only batted 250, but it is what it is. He's got a single at 26. And that's going to be an out. That's going to be a ground ball to, he's batting righty, so it's going to be a ground ball to short, goes to second, and that will retire the side. So unfortunately, the Reds get a bad break, and it's no runs, no hits. They leave the bases loaded in the bottom of the 8th. Wow. And it's going to be Bertz's Pitching for the Reds. Tim Burtzes. And he is ready to roll. He will be an A. So, yeah. So, Mailer went 1 inning, but man, he saved us. That was a big inning for Rick Mailer. Thank you very much, dude. Because that would have put me in a bind. Having to figure out who I was going to use in that inning. Tim Burtzes. All right, that's how you become a favorite of the manager, by coming in those situations where you need to get an inning or two out of somebody. That's what Matt, I think it was a guy named Matt Williams. No, not Matt Williams. Can't forget. Williams on the Mets last year would do that a lot. When the Mets were really stuck for a starter, he'd come in and he'd give the Mets 4 or 5 innings. That was huge. And he did that throughout the whole season. All right, so this game is coming out with 2022 season very, very soon. I think in December, and that'll be outstanding. So definitely pick that up. Mark Grace. And that's a Snake Eyes, and that's a base hit. So he lines one to right, played by O'Neill. So Grace is on at first. Oh, Jesus Christ. The clumsy man has arrived. Almost has everything flying, which would have sucked because I can't pick anything up. Remember, I'm recovering from major surgery here. All right. And so it's Andre Dawson against Burtzes. See, now we're stuck here. Now it's the inning's going to be Burtzes' inning, regardless of what happens. And that's a 15, and that's just what the doctor ordered. He pounds one into the ground right at the shortstop Larkin, goes to second, Osters for 1, back to Benzinger, and that's a double play. Huge double play to get out of trouble. Yep. Thank goodness. That saved the day right there. Another big pitch made by Burtzes. And here's Dwight Smith. Smith today is 2 for 4, 2 singles. And that's a 54. That's an error. Check. Oh, and that's a single and a potential error. The 11 against the left fielder, Hatcher. Almost guaranteed not an error. No, he's a 2 error. So it'll just be a single. Runner on first. 2-out single for Dwight Smith, his 3rd single of the day. And here's Kurt Wilkerson, disaster defensively at third base and at second base. Holy smoke. Here's a pitch, and that's a 52. That's an error. Check. We'll see on who. On the shortstop, Larkin has very low, I think he's got like a 5 error number, but we rolled a 13, so that'll be a fielder's choice, 6-4, and that will retire the side. No runs, 2 hits, 1 left. And we go to the bottom of the 9th. Bottom of the 9th. We get Paul Ozenmacher. Going to stay. Oh, he had 10 saves, so he'll stay in there, trying to finish it off. He is a lefty against Paul O'Neill. Paul O'Neill did bad against lefties. And that's a 45. That'll be a strikeout. So O'Neill swings and misses at a high fastball for the first out of the bottom of the 9th. 4-1. Chicago leads. Maddox started the game, and Scudder started the game for the Reds. He didn't pitch too poorly. Did not pitch great, but did not pitch too poorly. Gave up 4 runs. Could have been worse. There's Billy Hatcher with a 34. That's bounced up the middle and through a seeing eye single. Nobody gets there, so Hatcher's on at first. Ron Oster's up next. Pitch from Osenmacher. Again, that's a base hit. Little check swing, blooper, and drops in with a W arm at right. And no, so he will not advance to third. So first and second. And here comes Joe Girardi, should be on the other team. Batting down here. Here comes Joe Oliver, first and second against Osenmacher. Excuse me. Osenmacher, Paul Osenmacher, faces Joe Oliver. And here's the pitch. And that's a 64. Struck him out for the second out of the inning. And we're going to bring in Griffey as a pinch hitter. Bottom of the ninth. Let's grab him. There he is on top. And here goes. 2 out, 2 on. Tying run is Griffey. Has no power. Well, he has some power. He did hit 1 home run in 63 at bats, so he has potential to hit one here. So we need a 65, and then we need 8 or less. Here goes. Nope, we got a 51, which is an error number. Maybe it'll be to the third baseman again. And it is. Oh my God. Plus, it's an exotic chart. That is hilarious. So it's going to be a 51, an exotic chart error on the third baseman with a 16. And again, it falls right on the number. I think that's happened twice. So it is an error. So we're going to go to this is going to be fun. Because this is when it gets crazy. Let's see what happens. So we have runners on first and second, right? Okay, 2 outs. Runners on first and second. This is going to be to the third baseman. Ball fumbled and kicked by third baseman into foul territory. All F's and A's take 2 bases, including the batter. Holy smokes. So he's an A. He'll take 2 bases. So a run scores. Again, the third error of the day on Wilkerson. That is hilarious, man. Hilarious. Exotic chart right when you need it, right? 1 run comes in, so it's 4-2 now. And that's going to bring in Sabo. Sabo has reached on an error by the center fielder, but he's 0 for 4 today, so he's struggling today. And a walk, so he's seeing the ball better. And here's Sabo with 2 out and 2 on. The tying runs are on base. It's 4-2 now, score. And it's Paul Assenmacher against Sabo. And that is another error opportunity. Oh my God, a 51. Could this be Wilkerson's 4th error of the game? No, it goes to the shortstop. And the shortstop, will he make the play? Who is he? He's a 6. We rolled a 7, so he bobbles it, but whips it to second base for the force. Oh, there's no force at second base. Whips it across the field to first, scooped out of the dirt by Grace, and that is the ball game. Holy smokes. What a game that was. Final score 4-2. 1 run on 2 hits at the end. The Cubs hold on 4-2 with some horrible defense. They had 4 errors today in this game. 3 by the third baseman, who's horrific. 1 by the center fielder. They had a pass ball. They had a wild pitch. They got everything. You get a little of everything in this game. All right, so that was exciting. That was fun. Unfortunately, the Cincinnati Reds, they lose it. How many runs they score? I mean, how many hits they make? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 hits. Do they have any errors? No errors. And hits 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 hits. 13, so 4 runs, 13 hits, 4 errors, 2 runs, 11 hits, no errors. Greg Maddux will get the victory, I believe. Maddux. Yes, he will get the victory. The save goes to Assenmacher. Hold goes to the previous guys. I guess. I don't know how to figure that out. And the loss here is going to go to Scudder. Give up a few runs and hits. Let me see. You give 2, 4, 5, 6, 9 hits. How many runs? No. Scudder gave up no runs? That's not possible. Oh yeah, he didn't. So Scudder gave up no runs. That was good. All right. Did walk 2 there. Strikeouts. 1, 2. 2 strikeouts. So Scudder didn't do bad. I mean, kind of gave up about 9 singles, scattered 9 singles. One double, eight singles and a double in almost 6 innings. Mailer was huge. And I wrote in Burtz's twice. I don't know why I did that. I guess I got so excited that he pitched well. Here's 1 inning for Mailer. Gave up a walk. That was it. That helped me out big time. I can't use that. You know, you got to rest the nasty boys. Can't use them all the time because then it's going to be a problem later on. 2 hits for Burtz's, but he got out of the inning. No strikeouts, no walks. So that's good. That's good news. And that's it. That's the final score. It's 4-2 Chicago. We got 2 more games coming up with Chicago. Thanks for watching. Take care.